welcome to this, and this is my DVD review for Ring of Honor's Final Battle 2008, their last show of the year, and a show which will be remembered for a lot of things, and some things I don't think what it should be remembered for. But, amazing show. I wouldn't say it was as good as Supercard of Honor from last year, or from the same year. But I would say it was better than Death Before Dishonor, which is saying a lot because both of those shows were amazing in my opinion and well worth the buy and something I think any wrestling fan would thoroughly enjoy. I did give this review, if you read it, a 9.5, which is exactly what I gave Death Before Dishonor, only because I don't want to give this thing, because if I was being honest, it'd probably be like a 9.63 or something stupid like that, which I don't really agree with. So, because, you know, it's just a number, folks. That's all it is. It's just kind of a number to go by, just for that reason. So, there is that. But this was an amazing, amazing show. And one of those shows I wish I had been at. It was very good. The wrestling was definitely, probably overall better than Death Before Dishonor. But I think the I shouldn't say the presentation. I just think the overall feel of the show was probably a little bit better. I shouldn't say presentation. I just think it came across a little bit better for Death Before Dishonor. But anyways, let's get on with the matches. We started the night out with Claudio Castagnoli versus Kenny Omega in a pretty good little match. Claudio came out wearing a Red Sox jersey in New York. That went over well. Cheap Heat, hey, Cheap Heat works though. And Kenny Omega came out being his usually kind of strange self. Really good match. Liked this a lot. Was a good opener, and just got the fans kind of pumped up. Probably the second match probably would have been a little bit better as an opener because, as I've said, my one gripe with the Ring of Honor shows under Pierce is that the openers aren't, you know, these matches that get guys really into the shows. But that's okay. I mean, it's just kind of a different style, and it's not a bad thing. But there's that. Pretty good show. Lots of good stuff. Kenny Omega hitting his kind of moves, and Claudio trying to be a heel. I think he's slowly becoming better as a heel, so that is good. Next we had Necro Butcher, Chris Hero, Jerry Lynn, and Rhett Titus in a four-way. This was pretty good, I would say. Was a little slow in parts, but and everything was pretty much leading up to Chris Hero using the elbow pad, which for the second night in a row, well, he tried to use it on his foot for a Yakuza kick. Didn't quite work out that way. Rhett Titus was being his goofy self, and Necro was being his own kind of, you know, Necro self. So, a good little match, kind of what you would probably expect from these guys. Not, you know, a spot fest by any fast pace, but not really a spot fest. It was just kind of a match to go out there and the guys kind of have fun, but still trying to progress storylines to a degree. So it worked, and it was good. Next we had Kevin Steen and El Generico versus Jimmy Jacobs and Delirious. I was a little disappointed in this match myself for various reasons, and just because, you know, I'm a big fan of Delirious. I haven't necessarily liked Delirious with Jimmy Jacobs. I think they've done an okay job with him, but not probably as good as they could have done. But we'll have to see where that goes. And but this was good. It wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. It kind of surprised me that we got a world title match, you know, this far down on the card, not farther up in Ring of Honor. But the card was pretty stacked with a lot of talent, so I can kind of understand that, I guess. But next we had Brent Albright, Roderick Strong, Erick Stevens versus Davey Richards, Eddie Edwards, and Go Shiozaki in a New York street fight. This was very good. The only big problem with this match, and I'm sure this match came off very well live, was it was definitely booked more for the live crowd than it was even for a DVD crowd when they edited it, because there was so much going on. It was really hard to follow, and you could tell that they were missing stuff, and that was really my only problem with it. It probably went a little long, but like I said, the crowd was into it. It was definitely a match that the live crowd really enjoyed, and just from reports I've read, it seemed like the crowd really enjoyed it. And I definitely think it came off good. A match like this, it's always hard to tell how good this will come off on DVD. I think it came off good on DVD. It was probably better live, but and I think that was kind of the point of the match. But it served its purpose, and again, we had, it was a pretty good little match. Next, we had Briscoes versus Nakajima and Sasaki. This was pretty good. Not as good as I would have thought, but when Nakajima was in there, I definitely think he worked better with Jay and Mark, which kind of makes sense overall, just because of the way they work. But this was a good match, a good solid match. Probably not the dream match some people had been hoping for. Kind of underwhelming in that way, but still good. And pretty impressive, just fun match, I felt. But then we got into the really good stuff. We got Austin Aries versus Tyler Black for the #1 contendership. This was a great match, back and forth, good, hard-hitting, nice spots, fast-paced. The fans were into it, and everything. The end, a lot of people have griped about the end because Austin Aries did his. This is where Austin Aries did his heel turn, which has been kind of what exactly is going on, and we still don't know. But this, I thought it worked. I thought it came off pretty good on the DVD. Probably didn't. I could tell where it probably wouldn't have come off as good live, and have been a lot of like, what the fuck just happened type of thing. But I do think it came off pretty good on the DVD and worked. So there you go. There. Next we got Nigel McGuinness versus Marufuji. Another great match, which I think you would expect from these guys. A lot of good back and forth action, a lot of good spots. Again, the crowd was very much into this. Very good, loved it. And then we got Morishima versus Danielson, which of course had been leading up for forever now. They had their feud, then Morishima went and won the title. And that caused problems because, of course, you couldn't really continue the feud as it needed to with Morishima as champion because Noah would want to protect their champion. But he's not the champion anymore, so they brought him over. My only real gripe with this match is the fact that Danielson definitely had a lot of intensity and a lot of hatred. You didn't really feel that as much from Morishima, though he did do a lot of dastardly evil things and tried to kill Danielson on a couple of occasions, but you didn't just get that pure hatred you got from Danielson. So it was kind of like, or this would have been just utterly just amazing match. But they did a lot of cool things. This was every bit as good as Aries versus Jacobs from the pay-per-view. Really good stuff. Really enjoyed it. I was kind of wondering, about this being on the main event, but I definitely think this match probably had the best chance of being the best match on the card. So while I'm not too big on it being the main event, this has been a match fans have been waiting for. It was kind of a special attraction match, and so I'm okay with it being on the main event, but not really happy with it being the main event. Title matches should always be in the main event. There you go. I will say that all the time. Great. I didn't really talk about a lot of the matches because a lot of them were really good, and there wasn't a lot to really bitch about, and there wasn't a lot to really, go kind of nuts about because I thought everything was good, entertaining, especially after watching last night's pay-per-view, which was crap. This was a nice little change of pace. Like I said, I don't think this will be remembered in hindsight as the great night of wrestling that it was. I think it will be instead remembered as probably the final show Ring of Honor did where it relied on a lot of Japanese talent. And I'm sure a lot of, I would say a lot of the Ring of Honor fans won't be happy about that. I don't think it has sunk into a lot of people yet that we probably will not be seeing a lot of the Japanese talent be brought in just for economic reasons, it looks like, which is good and bad. The good part of it is that, under Gabe, he would bring in these Japanese guys and the foreign talent, and for these one-shot deals for the most part, or off and on. And the problem with it always was that he seemed to rely too much on that for great shows, and often feuds and whatnot would kind of get swept to the side, and that would be my biggest problem with that. Where, so the good part of it is you're going to revolve more around the talent you have, more of the roster you have, which you're going to need to with going to TBD. The bad part of it is you're going to be missing out on a lot of great matches. There's no question about that. We don't know. I mean, and that's not to say that they won't bring on any Japanese talent. I would be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if we did. You know, every once in a while they brought in some Japanese talent for the bigger shows, but we won't definitely see like what we're probably used to seeing. And I'm sure a lot of fans will be disappointed for that. But I think it's just kind of the way things will have to be. If Ring of Honor wants to, you know, just financially, it sounds like that's kind of the way it's going to be. So, and I'm okay with that. And that'll probably be what this will be remembered more for, unfortunately. But hey, kind of what are you going to do type of thing. Other than that, that is it. I will be back tomorrow with either the review everyone has been pestering me for since it came out, which would be the Gabe DVD. Which I guess I will do a review for it. Though I don't know if I'll do that tomorrow or I will do a question and answer tomorrow. It'll just depend on how I feel tomorrow, I guess, if I want to watch that or if I just want to do a question and answer. Probably question and answer, to be completely honest, because there's a lot of things, such as Generico, that people want answered. So that will probably be that. With that, I am out. Like I said, great, amazing show. Definitely pick it up. I recommend this wholeheartedly. Very good end to the Ring of Honor year and all of that wonderfulness. So with that, I am out. Have a good one. Later.